Hey Outlaws, it's BMT115 here, and I'm here to bring you an unboxing video. So, as some of you might know, based on some Let's Plays I did, I'm really interested in the Lovecraft and the Cthulhu mythos, and I'm currently reading the complete Cthulhu mythos over there by H.P. Lovecraft. I have the book, and let's just say I stumbled upon a little lesser-known company called Warpo, and I learned that they made a retro 80s style action figure line. Now, I love action figures. That's one of the things I'm starting to collect. I've got over there, I've got the original Xenomorph and Predator from NECA, as well as their Leatherface. I've got a Jonah Hex. I've got the Star Wars Battlefront 2, just because the freaking new Stormtrooper, it looks alright. And a couple zombies. So, let's get into these. So I ordered, some people on eBay had a few sets. I've got one of the rarer ones in this box, and I believe this bigger one has all of the main four that are in the set. Okay, so let's start. I'm gonna lay these out, make sure my computer doesn't go to sleep on me. I'm going to show these to you guys from basically what I've seen, my least favorite to my favorite. Trying to make sure I know which ones are which. Alright, let's start with... I'm going to start with this guy. So this is the Deep One. The Deep One is one of Cthulhu's worshippers, basically one of his half-breed humanoid fish people that live with him in the city of R'lyeh, and essentially they serve the cult, they serve Cthulhu, and they help the cult get to where they go in the stories. Packaging, very, very nice, very old-fashioned retro. I love the art style. I am definitely probably just gonna keep one of them. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna keep one of these things just to like sit behind them, because there's really nothing else you could do with it. But all the other ones I don't really need. So yeah, we're gonna unbox him first at the end of this. My next is going to be the Professor. I see a lot of people putting the Deep One and the Professor as their bottom two, and I have to agree. They're not that they're bad, it's just out of the line, these are the lower ones in terms of uniqueness. I mean, he's just a professor. He's a detective-looking dude. He's got his little idol. The Deep One had his spear. Same thing on the back. Okay. Next will be the regular cultist. The regular cultist is the one everyone is usually able to get. He's red with a maroon cape, and he has his staff in the back, as well as a dagger and a mask. And I believe they glow in the dark sometimes. Yeah, he's glowing already. So, that's the cultist. Now here's the rare one. This is the one that I wanted really bad, but he's not my favorite. This is the High Priest. This is basically an invert of the cultist, where he's black and red with see-through plastic dagger, mask, and staff. So obviously he's a little bit more rare just because of the fact that he's the High Priest. You know, you'd want him with any of your figures. And of course, everyone's favorite, the Spawn of Cthulhu. Now, I know Warpo is doing something. I don't know if it went through or not, where they're making the big 12-inch, the big foot-long Cthulhu. The big tall one. I've seen people that have them. And personally, I mean, it's cool, it's great that you have one life-size and all that fit with the figures, but I mean, he's basically just a giant version of this little guy right here. Necronomicon. He's just a bigger version of this guy. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Spawn of Cthulhu looks the same. They look the same as their dad, so, I mean, it's not much else you could do with that. So, he's my favorite. We're going to unbox all of them, and I'm going to show them to you up close to the camera and give you guys a better look. Okay, we're back. I've assembled all of their accessories on each other, so let's go back to the Deep One all the way to the Spawn. So, The deep one, very nice sculpting. This is definitely obvious that they decided to put in a lot of effort into these figures. Kind of loosen up his joints. I like how they all have their peg holes in the feet. They have their simple articulation points. You can pose them however you want. He does use his little staff here to stand occasionally. You just gotta pull it down lower in his hand like this. And just kind of prop his arm in the right way. Because the way his foot works is it's supposed to be like he's mid-walk. So you stick him on the stand and he's flat. And his foot stays up. So the paint, like this is definitely some of the best paint I've ever seen. Those little fangs, those teeth on the side definitely wouldn't be painted on most figures. The toenails are painted, the belly is painted, even the scales and fins on the back are painted to reflect the detail in the figure. And of course the accessories don't really need to have that much detail in the paint because it's an accessory, but the actual figure does have a very nice paint job. Even though he's my least favorite of the bunch, he's still amazing, and I do like these figures. Like, I love the idea of this figure. So, next, we have the Professor. Now, I don't know how to get the little idol to sit in his hand. I'm guessing it has to do with this on the back, but I don't know how to fit it in. But I've got the Professor with his gun. Professor's very basic. Again, good paint job, good articulation on the limbs. Pretty decent for just being a little standstill character. You know, his legs can wiggle here and there for some extra movement. Little pencil mustache. Now they were gonna do one where he was gonna have H.P. Lovecraft's head on the same body, and it was gonna be called The Author, but they haven't gotten to that Kickstarter yet. So here's praying that they do. Because this isn't a bad figure at all. This fits the theme with the whole 1920s style. So he's going to have the little idol. I'm going to try and fit that in his hand. I really don't know how. I guess like that. You just kind of sit it in his fingers. Okay. Next is the Cultist. So the Cultist has the vinyl cape, the dagger, the staff, and he has this nice little detachable mask that sits very nicely in the hood. You get his creepy orb face in there. Yeah, pretty demonic looking. I love it. He's got I forget what you call the things that go around their neck, those arrow things, and the chain in black. And the legs, like most of these retro figures, the cloak is part of the leg. So, I do love that they went full on retro. So let's stick his little mask back in there. Knife always has a tendency to fall out in everyone's videos, so I don't blame myself for that happening. Alright. And then next is his counterpart, the High Priest Cultist. Now, I like this guy better just because of how unique he looks. He's very obviously got the black and red instead of the red and black, with a silver chain and these nice neon see-through transparent plastic pieces. His mask does the same. They're pretty much the exact same sculpt and mold, just one's got a color change. Which I'm okay with, because that's how a lot of these guys win. A lot of these old-fashioned figures have these little color changes. Let's fix his little cloak. It must have gotten pulled off in the packaging. Okay, so that's the Cultist and the High Priest. So they go together, as well as the deep one. Now on to my favorite is Spawn of Cthulhu. This is the one everybody wants because it's Cthulhu himself as a little action figure, and he's holding the Necronomicon. Now, I know it's the Spawn, it's the child of Cthulhu. His wings are actually detachable. They have a little peg hole, and they sit in quite nice. I have my collection of Arkham action figures over there, and the way, if any of you own an Arkham figure, I would give the wings texture and rubberized plasticky feel to one of their kind of like Man-Bat's wings, like the skin tissue in between his wings, very flexible but tough rubber, so it's not gonna break. Luckily, thank God. His head, like most of them, have a little decent bit of articulation and their, basic joint movement. He comes with a Necronomicon, which is really cool. I like this version other than the Evil Dead one because the Evil Dead one looks like bean dip, burnt. This one actually looks like a sewn on, like a flesh sewn. Hey, let that focus. If you can see that. Yeah. It looks like someone sewed this thing together with flesh. So that's really cool. Let's just say that I'm glad the guys at Warpo made this line because you would not see anything like this back in the 80s and late 70s because it's just too controversial. You've got cultists, you've got Cthulhu monsters, and you've got fish demon people. Like, come on. So, luckily I managed to get the Spawn of Cthulhu's packaging open fairly easy and clean. So I'm going to just turn it around and stand this up and put all the figures lined up around this one box. So, and as for the High Priest packaging, very nice. It came stapled in this little bag, stapled all the way, so 3 staples across. Simple little label. So, as for that, I love this line. This is one of the best collections I own. The only other figure you guys might be in the comment section screaming about is where is the second backer edition, because the High Priest cultist was the first. The second, as you can see with these pieces that are the transparent green, the second one was going to be it is a transparent Cthulhu. So the only 2 figures I do not have in this collection are that version of the Spawn of Cthulhu and the giant Cthulhu himself. But other than that, I'm happy with this collection and I enjoy what I got. Okay, so the next item we're going to have on the list is I've just gotten the actual big Cthulhu in the mail. So let's continue the collection because I managed to get a hold of the last 3 figures, including both variants of Cthulhu himself and the Conjured Cthulhu, which is actually the rarest figure. So let's open up this huge ass box from Big Bad Toy Store, because it's the only place I've seen where you can get one for a good price. So let's see what we got. Well, it seems doesn't look damaged or, in any kind of issue. It's a huge box. Okay, so we got some bubble wrap. Got another ad. Order form. Alright, let's see. Okay, so this is the original box. As you can see, it is a preview exclusive, so very rare. Let's peel this little piece of, try not to mess it up. Okay, just a little piece of cardboard came off, but that's not bad. Compared to the rest of the box, this is in amazing quality. It is not damaged in the slightest. Okay, and so you can see on the bottom here, that's what he's gonna look like. This thing is freaking huge. Okay, let's got the back. We've got the other 4 original figures on each side. Okay. This is definitely something you want to keep. This is a box you definitely want to keep as a collector. Okay. Let's be very ginger opening this thing because I do not want to rip the box. We do not want to rip it, we just want to open it. So we're gonna pull this thing out. Alright. Okay, so here he is. Now let's pull out the wings. One of the wings came out. Okay. Okay, so the box is good. There's nothing left in the box. This is very heavy plastic. Okay. Ooh, this is some pretty heavy stuff. Very thick plastic indeed. Okay, this dude's gonna be huge. And we actually have the paper. Okay. This is actually something I really wanted to put with the collection. You get the original Warpo catalog showing off every single figure with a mild description. I have all fours you just seen, and I have the occult priest, the high priest. So you get the instruction manual. Like, the instructions are very complicated. Okay, so those two will go together. And here we have Cthulhu himself. Pretty tall figure. We're gonna peel this cardboard material away because it's like a... We're just gonna pull him through. Put all of this extra cardboard in the bigger box off to the side. That should be everything. Okay. Very heavy-duty plastic. This is definitely something out of the 80s, 100%. Let's see what how his legs can work. Okay. Very sturdy. Doesn't have any issues. The wrist joints, each wrist moves. Now this is a preview exclusive of the glow-in-the-dark variant. They only made 300 of these, I believe. Head swivels pretty well. Need to just move his arms a certain way. But yeah, head moves pretty decently. Good swivel. Okay, let's put his wings on. Make sure we got them on right. So it's this way. So you put them in. And then you twist, huh? Okay, very tight. I like that. It's a tight fit. Okay. Let's hold him by the back. There you go. All right. So I really like that it's transparent a little bit on the back here with this plastic. So one thing you can do is have Cthulhu hold one of your figures, the other little guys. In fact, I'm gonna go get one real quick so that we can see. So give me a moment. Of course, we're gonna use the professor for this. So let's see. He's supposed to be able to just slip him in, put his arms up. Let's see. This arm up. All right. So yeah, he does hold very well. He sits in there. You can kind of aim him however you want. So let's do him like this. So yeah, pretty tall figure. You know, he's 12 inches tall. From what I've heard, the wings help counterweight on the body as he leans forward. So if you want him to lean more forward, you can, the wings will actually hold him. I wouldn't recommend bending the wings after they're in place, like, I guess, jointing them around, because it's not, this is more so something you put on a shelf and, like, pose around, These aren't the kind of toys that you would give to a small child. Me being a kid, we've all been kids that have played with stuff, and what do kids do? Break shit. So, let's see. Put Professor back into his regular position. Do a little size comparison. Yeah, it's a pretty big figure. I would say the figures on the box art are about the same height. Not really. They're maybe like half a centimeter shorter. So that's a good reference there. One thing I've not seen anyone do with their preview exclusive Cthulhu's is actually show off their glow-in-the-dark capabilities. So we're going to cut right back, and I'm going to show you guys how this dude looks in complete darkness. Alright guys, so I've been standing here kind of moving Cthulhu around in the sunlight, trying to get him to get the glow-in-the-dark paint to activate. He looks really great. This glow-in-the-dark paint they used on him is really easy to activate. So we're just gonna move it to this little spot I've got. Look at that. This is a pretty dark corner, and it might come out matte on camera, but for comparison, look how dark the other figures are, and then this one's just glowing. So let's go to an actual dark spot. Just go to a closet. So yeah, he is pretty translucent. This will go great with your other figures. As long as the sunlight is able to hit him, you'll see in some spots where the shadow is coming out, but in other places where the sunlight really hit him, the eyes do glow. They just didn't get as much light as the rest of him did, but you can see the claws are transparent. The eyes really stand out. Very, very nice figure. So let's go put him back where he belongs. So we got sunlight, regular version, into the glow-in-the-dark version. Very cool. Very cool. Love this guy. Alright guys, now we've got second to last figure in the mail, so let's unbox it. Alright, so here we've got the Spawn of Cthulhu, the conjured version. Huh, they sent me a Marvel playing card. Okay. Interesting. So, that's him in his packaging. I'm going to keep this one to put in the big Cthulhu's box, just because, you're not going to get this kind of packaging anymore, and it's, just put it in the box, it's not going to do nothing. So, let's open him up. Okay, so I managed to get the label off completely fine without tearing it, and I managed to get the packaging open without ripping it. So let's take him out and see what they did differently. So as you see, the book and the mold are completely transparent green. Not too bad. It's very interesting looking. This is conjured Cthulhu. The eyes are painted, so not too bad. Let's see which way's the front. Put the book. His hands are definitely a lot tighter than the other one. Let's see if we can get him to hold the book properly. I don't want to break him though, that's the issue. Okay. So that is the Conjured Cthulhu, and we're gonna put him in the collection. Alright, I'm back with the final Warpo Legends of Cthulhu figure. You guys have no idea how long it took to get this particular figure. While I might have the um a rarer figure in the collection that's technically speaking worth more than this one, this was just a pain in the ass to get. Because not only did I order one already right after I finished recording the previous two segments, it got lost in the mail, so they said we're gonna if it arrives, just count it as a gift, and if we get more in stock, we'll let you know. Well, I managed to get it in the mail about a month later. I had to reorder it essentially. So without further ado, let's open the regular variant of 12-inch Cthulhu. Now, not very much has changed with this variant aside from the color of the box and a few smaller commercial details. I'll do the comparison when we get him out. If I could just get this tape off without ripping the box, because that's the last thing we want. Okay. Let's just take this off carefully. Okay. That could have gone a lot worse. Okay. Get that out of here. Okay. Yeah, we can leave that on there. That's not going to do anything. All right. All right. So we got the wing slot right here. Oh, wow. Okay. So let's take him out. Looks great. Okay. Make sure that's all held together, because I was reading some reviews. Some people's Cthulhu didn't hold up well, so let's put him together. Okay, good. It's just some dust. Wipe him off. Okay, yeah, it's obvious that this one's nice because it's the painted variant. Put this wing in. Okay, wrong way. Wrong wing, wrong way. You see? No, it's this wing. Okay. It's this way. Okay. Nice and tight. And this wing. Come on. Alright, good. We got the wings on without it breaking, which is what we didn't want to have happen. We didn't want the wings to break because I heard that the glue was a little weak and you could kind of hear it. Alright, now, how about we finally get to look at this guy? So, I'm gonna jump up real quick and go get the preview exclusive version so we can compare the two. Now, both variants of Cthulhu have their pros and cons. The preview exclusive one has a really nice see-through plastic for the wings. Excuse me. Very interesting, and it is glow in the dark. However, the original has the paint job, the complete paint job. So the way I see it is kind of like with the cultist. You have a regular cultist and you have the high priest. So this is kind of like the conjured Cthulhu. But it's always nice to have the one with the red eyes and the nice paint. You know, it's actually a pretty good paint job, judging by how detailed it is. Excuse me. But let's see how they all look together, the complete collection. Alright guys, so this is the complete collection of Warpo's Legends of Cthulhu line Series 1. These are all of the figures in the entire Series 1, now in one place for everyone to see, so we're not going to be doing what most reviewers do when they just review one figure at a time and don't even show off what they all look like. This is my Lovecraft spot I've got on my desk. I've got the book, a couple of items that you might recognize. So let's see who we got here. We've got the three off variants of the figure, so the three rare ones. We've got the High Priest, the Conjured Cthulhu, and the preview exclusive glow-in-the-dark variant of Cthulhu. These three go together because of that transparency factor. Then we got the main line. We've got the Professor, the Deep One, Spawn of Cthulhu, the regular Cultist, and now finally the regular 12-inch Cthulhu. And we've got the two boxes in the back, and I have the smaller packaging for these guys in the boxes. So yeah, this is the entire collection. So if you ever want a reference to see what you're going to get, if you want to collect all of them, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get the four mainline figures, the two preview exclusive variants, and then the third one, which is for Cthulhu himself, and the regular variant of Cthulhu. So yeah, this is the entire collection for Warpo Legends of Cthulhu. I hope you guys enjoyed going through this whole extraneous journey with me collecting these, and I hope you enjoyed.